Hi guys, I'm here to give you tips on how to get a Schengen visa for first-timers and those with no strong ties. And this is specifically for Germany's unmarried couple visit visa category. But I think some of my tips would apply for other visa categories as well. And so this unmarried couple visit visa is relatively new, and this was in response to the Love is Not Tourism campaign because a lot of unmarried couples or binational couples haven't met for months since the pandemic. So luckily I was able to obtain this unmarried couple visit visa, so I'm currently in Germany with my partner. Okay, so without further ado, I'll start with the tips. And first is to write a convincing cover letter. So this cover letter is not stated in the list of requirements, but almost everyone who applies for a Schengen visa has it because it's your chance to present your case and convince your embassy on why they should give you a visa. And this is typically a one-page document, but personally I wrote 2 pages because I had to explain a lot of circumstances. But the second page is mostly just the chronological list of requirements. And in my blog, I provided a template on how I wrote it. It's not the actual letter that I wrote, but it's more the structure of the things that I wrote. So if you want to have an idea, you can head over to my website. I have the link on the description box and check on the template that I provided. And so just some reminder, so do not copy my reasons because I am just giving you some possible scenarios in this template. And for every reason that you provide, you need to provide a supporting document. So you can't rely on that. And also, another tip on writing it is focus on your strong points. If, like me, you do not have strong ties, like I do not have a full-time job and I do not have any properties in the Philippines, I did not mention any of those, but I focus on my strong points. Such as having a good travel history and a clean passport record. So just focus on your strong points. So for my number 2 tip, so complete all requirements in the VFS checklist. So for this one, a lot of people I've seen in Facebook groups, they would ask for requirements, and that's not really a good idea to ask people what the requirements are. The best way to check the requirements is to go to the official VFS website. So I've also linked that in the description box because it might change from time to time too. So you have to make sure that you have the updated checklist, especially for the specific category that you're applying for. Because, for example, a tourist visa would have a different set of requirements than that of a fiancé or a marriage visa, or the unmarried couple. For instance, for the unmarried couple visa, we have to submit a declaration of relationship, and a tourist visa won't need that. So that's why it's very important that you head over to the actual website and don't rely on other people to tell you what the requirements are. Also, in my experience, when I went to VFS, which is the agency where you apply to, in Makati, I heard applicants being asked to return because they were missing a document. So make sure everything's complete. The good news is the VFS staff will check the requirements. So they make sure that you don't get an automatic rejection if you're missing anything. So also other things you have to check are insurance dates. Make sure your insurance covers your entire stay. Okay. And speaking of insurance, I've also linked an insurance company that I recommend that is accepted by the German embassy, and it's also affordable. Okay. Number 3, always provide a supporting document for anything that you say in your cover letter. So with that said, you can provide extra documents that's not indicated in the checklist. for as long as it's relevant in your case. For example, if you mentioned in your cover letter that you have a son or daughter, provide their birth certificate or any proof that you really have a son or daughter to return to. Because some people show that as a proof of ties that they're returning to the Philippines. So in my case, to give you an idea what kind of documents I submitted, I stated all of these in my cover letter. So first, I provided a travel summary because I provided my stamps and my previous visas, because my strong point is my travel history. So I provided them a list of all the countries I've been to for the past 10 years. So because it's a lot of stamps, you don't want to confuse them. So I provided a template, a summary. Again, you can go to my website to see what it looks like. Basically, it has the country, the visa, and the validity of that visa, my entry and exit date, and the purpose of my visit. And after that travel summary, I provided the passport stamps and visas, both valid and the expired visas. I also provided a certificate of employment from my previous job. So I stated earlier that I don't have a full-time job. I don't have strong ties. But I want to show them that I did have a job before, and that's where my savings came from. And I also provided the income tax return from my previous job. I also provided Philippine stock investments. So a lot of people will say that this is not proof of ties, but I wanted to show that I am interested in the Philippine economy, even if these are not physical assets. So in a way, it ties me to the Philippines, and they accepted this document too. Another extra document I provided is my master's diploma. So if you recently graduated, that could be something you can provide. The reason I provided it is because I'm on a gap year after graduating from my master's. So to prove that I did graduate, I provided a copy of my diploma. Number 4, put everything in order. So I have submitted over 130 pages of supporting documents, and there's no ideal number. Actually, the VFS staff was surprised that I have too much, but they checked it, and in the end, they accepted almost everything except for the affidavit of support, because it's not recognized by the embassy. And also, in the end of the cover letter, provide a summary of these documents and group them together according to the document category. So, for example, all work-related documents go together, and or travel documents go together, and so on. And my number 5 tip, and this is specifically for unmarried couples, is to provide enough photos and chat logs to prove that you're in a real relationship. So one of the requirements of the German embassy for this specific visa is that you've met at least once. So to prove that, you have to show that in pictures, and put it in order, and include dates and also descriptions. It's like your storytelling on how you met and what you were doing in those photos. For example, if you were traveling together, then show some photos of some sites from those countries you've been to. And this is actually one of the requirements that I enjoy doing, because you get to look back to your previous photos. Okay, so those are my 5 tips. I hope this helped you. And again, if you want a detailed explanation or a detailed guide on this, you can go to my website. I've written more on that. And I also added some frequently asked questions on my website, such as if a savings account is still needed, or how much do you need, is there an interview. I've all indicated that, because I realize these are the questions that that people ask, and also I personally receive this from other applicants. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. And again, just go over to my website for additional information. Thank you and good luck.